So Alex, I was just saying to Tim, if you win a round, you get to get some time off.
Yeah.
You've had your time off.
You got to win a round to earn a couple off. So no, we'd always planned that I would have a couple rounds off in the middle, just because. I mean, not necessarily so much the racing is hard, but time away, constantly travelling, and you miss out on a lot of recovery and the ability to actually get some training done in between. It's impossible to race the Tour Series and be competitive and train around it all. You just can't do that. So we took a couple of rounds off, a bit of training in the legs, nothing too crazy, but just kind of to get a little bit of a refresh, come back in with fresh mind, fresh approach, and then the guys have been doing really well. Obviously Durham was a bit of a non-event for us. We suffered, and other teams have good rounds. So coming into tonight, we've got three guys that haven't raced the last race, so fresh legs. Hopefully we'll take the race on and get stuck in as always, really.
Well, this is where you won the series last year.
Yeah.
That must be nice for you to come back.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's mega for the team. Me personally, I didn't race here last year. I had a bit of a shocking Tour Series last year, but it's done and dusted now. But this year the team's really done well. All the guys have pulled together, and hopefully we can deliver another good race tonight.
What is it like? You talk about having rested and all that. What are the demands on a ride of the Tour Series? What are the taxing demands?
I think the racing is obviously very hard. You both physically and mentally. You can't. It's an hour, but you can't really switch off at all. You basically you blink and somebody's gone past you. You've lost a place, and it's just constantly being focused, constantly being right on the limit of what you can do physically and with the cornering involved. Because let's face it, the cornering is a huge part of the Tour Series, and getting it right is you can use to a big advantage, which is what we've hopefully been doing and continue to do.
Well, it's quite stressful, I would imagine too, because it is. Let's face it, there's a lot on the line.
Yeah.
And it does get physical out there.
Yeah, it's tough bike racing. I mean, there's a lot of riding for the teams, the riders. This is one of the crucial parts of the series for teams with sponsors. It's where a lot of sponsors are, getting a lot of their coverage on the television, and we come to a lot of places. So it's important for everyone all round. So there is always a lot riding on it, and then it's hard bike racing. There's a lot of people and not a lot of space. So everyone gets stuck in.
What about the course here tonight? You've had a quick run round?
Yeah, I've just done a couple of laps, just casual clothes, so hopefully could be going considerably faster later. But the circuit's mega, real fast.
Pan flat?
Yeah, pan flat, no elevation gain at all. You've got two reasonably long straights, and then a lot of corners in close succession, which I think will lend itself to one great big long line, as always, and eventually it's going to split up. I'm pretty confident a small group will stay away here. I think, again, same as we've had a lot of the other races, just purely from the nature of the circuit, and it's not possible to get that many people through all together.
I guess the key is you guys, or whatever team, getting on the front at the start.
Yeah,
and just put the hammer down.
Yeah, we had a little chat earlier, and really one of the key things we said, it's a race to get organised for the first couple of minutes. That is the race.
Racing as a unit?
Yeah, the race is to get organised as a team. The team that will have the biggest advantage here will be the team that gets 4 or 5 guys to the front as quick as possible. They'll be the guys that are then able to dictate the race and take control of it. So hopefully that's us.
Well, you mentioned last year you had a shock over series.
Yeah.
I guess you're at the back then. What's the difference between riding at the back in these races and riding at the front?
The further back you are, the harder it gets. Obviously, you've got to be good, you've got to be strong to be at the front, but if you're outside the top 10, top 15 guys, you just find a losing battle. You're having to brake more than the guys at the front, you're going through the corners slower, and then because of that, you're then coming out of the corners, you're having to ride harder than everyone. And because you're on the back, you're riding down the straights even harder than everyone. And it's like a big downward spiral the further back you are. But then it's hard to get at the front, and you've got to have the legs to stay there. So I guess it's a bit of catch-22 really. It's hard to be at the front, but it's even harder further back. But personally for me, I just think no matter how hard it is at the front, if I go further back, it's going to be even harder. So that's how I look at it.
The final one, what did the win at Aberdeen do for you, motivationally?
Yeah, it was mega. I mean, as I said on the night, it's not often you see me win a bike race. I'm often near the front, hovering around, lurking, but it's good. I take a good bit of confidence away from it. I mean, you can by no means become complacent with one win in the Tour Series. You know, there's a lot of guys here that on their day could win the bike race. So I think it just, for me, it just does give a little bit of confidence that you know the form is there. You just got to be in the mix at the right time and, you know, be sensible with what you do and, you know, play the race to your best ability.